Oh, you got fucking get bitter, that's for Guinness. Bleeding now.
You asked for bitter. You asked for bitter.
Changed it to Guinness because Liam said it was vegan. I came to peer pressure. For my day job, I work for a national children's charity based in Runcorn in Cheshire. I deal with all the press coverage and media and also the service team and the fundraising team, and then I also generate all the funds to help raise more money for the charity. And in my spare time, I direct and star in plays. When I was 15, I watched Bouncers at the Parr Hall in Warrington, which is the only theatre we've got actually. It was closest to the theatre that we've got. I was 15 years old, I was doing my work experience. It was 1998 and Hull Truck Theatre were touring, and one of the shows that they put on was Bouncers. And I remember always thinking as a kid, because we didn't have a theatre to go to here, that theatre was very much where you got dressed up, similar to this, tuxedos, ball gowns, suits and jackets and cloaks and top hats, and you all went and watched Oscar Wilde or Noel Coward, and it was a very sort of, it wasn't my world, and then I watched Bouncers and thought, that's totally my world, I understand this. There was swearing in it, there was a lot of social commentary in it, there were people in it that I could understand and recognise from my own life, and I thought, if that's theatre, then I want a part of that.
Stop with the why. I think it's very cool.
I work for a Swedish flat pack furniture company known as IKEA. I've been there for 20 years, so I started when I was a young 17-year-old lad back in the day. No. I used to go to a youth theatre group back in the day called Cody's, and I started taking the photos for the programmes and producing the programmes and such like. And there was a time when they were celebrating their 10-year anniversary, so they brought all the ex-members back, and I was asked did I want to be in the show. And having never performed on stage before, I thought, well, why not? So I auditioned, and I got to sing Time of Your Life from Dirty Dancing. First ever live performance on stage, and I was petrified. And that was the first time I ever set foot on stage, really.
What's she had?
5 barley wines, 3 whiskies, a hooch and a carrot.
Being heavily dyslexic, I didn't know how to read a book and digest all that script. And that was the first time I ever read a play, and it was Bouncers. And then it was the best thing I've ever done. Because there's no better feeling than making someone laugh. There really is no better feeling than making someone laugh.
Whoa! Where are you punks going?
Going in the discotheque, man!
Not just like that, you know.
And it's the hardest feeling as well when you stood on stage and the whole audience is in uproar laughing and you've got to stand with a straight face. It's so hard. Making people laugh is just me. That's the biggest thing that I like doing. I like to have fun in everything that I do in my day job. When I'm on stage, there's no better feeling than having fun with people that you are friends.
That'll do, that's enough. That's enough, right, let's continue back to your speech.
Day job's a bit awkward because I'm a bit of everything. I'm an entertainer, so I work an entertainer at Gulliver's World, kids entertainer. And then I tried going into sales. I didn't like sales because it was boring. So then my best mate Kit Phillips decided to do a drama tuition called First Act. So he asked me to be the tutor, so I could teach kids, young kids now. So I do junior class 5 to 10, and then 11 to 15-year-olds as well. I teach. So I'm a tutor and entertainer and actor as well.
One quick slip, and you're up to your hip in urine. You're covered in piss.
From a young age, I liked comedy. I was always into comedy. My granddad taught me a lot about comedy. And I watched loads of things like Non-Wisdom, Morecambe and Wise, Two Ronnies. I was brought up with comedy.
We're only having a bit of a laugh. Well, it's not funny, is it? Relax, friend. Yeah, well, no,
I just love acting because you get to play different characters and not be yourself. Even though I like myself, I don't hate myself, but I like being, a character of some sort. I've played some weird characters. I've played a gay German in a leotard who's very German and gay. I've played an Instagram's engineer. He was very creepy. He was over the brothel. He was after all these prostitutes. I always play I either play really creepy people or freaking hilarious people. One of the two. But I prefer the comedy parts. They're more fun.
You're getting past it.
Don't you ever
I do home improvements. I'm self-employed and I do kitchens and bathrooms and decorating and electrics and plumbing and that sort of thing. I started acting in my 40s, quite by accident. I used to go out on a Friday night to have a few pints and sing karaoke, and a girl that we knew in there said, would I like to join the chorus for something? And I said, yes. It was a Monday night, I had nothing else to do. I went along, had no idea what it was. Ended up with some girl dancing on my shoulder and spinning her around, and it was a show called Carousel. I got desperate to do something a bit more sort of real, a bit more sort of contemporary and everything. And I heard about a show with Encore called The Full Monty. And I went along, having done Rodgers and Hammerstein, to standing naked on a stage is quite a jump. I'll be quite honest, I prefer acting in plays to being in musicals. I can carry a tune, but I can't sing to the standard of what some fantastic voices around some of the shows we've been in. But I do love acting and I love being in shows, and Bouncers is just the dream vehicle. I love being stood in the wings waiting to go on, with the butterflies churning in the stomach, and I never thought I would. I never did things up front. I was never sort of centre of anything as I was growing right up to my 40s, but I just love standing in the wings waiting to go on, and then stepping out into the lights and doing a part. I just find it so, I feel alive. It isn't for everybody. You'll know, having done something, whether you want to do it or whether you're made to do it. But even if you're not great at it and you want to do it, do it. It's great fun. You'll always get something. But we don't do it for money. We don't do it for anything. We do it for sheer enjoyment, for sheer pleasure. I mean, if working with three guys like that, I wouldn't do that without acting. The whole process of rehearsing for this show has been a laugh. It really, really has.